Hello, clowns.
I'm Ami.
I'm Yu Chen, and we're the hosts of Clown Vibes Podcast.
We're two best friends who are chronically online and get together weekly to laugh and discuss all the clown behavior we see on the internet.
And there's so much.
Truly so much.
We're so glad to have you here to clown around with us, and we hope you enjoy the episode. Hi, everyone. We're back again with another episode of Clown Vibes. I'm actually kind of excited for this episode because I feel like this is just shit we talk about on the reg, except I haven't talked to you in like a week.
Yeah, which has been unfortunate. It's just been a little sad. I feel like I haven't been making that many calls and like something feels awry.
I was literally just thinking that about you yesterday because I was like, oh, I haven't really talked to Emmy a lot, but I feel like she just hasn't been calling people a lot, and I wonder how her family feels about that.
No, they're upset. They're actively upset and actively like messaging me about it.
Wait, so do they know why you haven't really been calling?
Okay, we'll cut this, but like it was like fine, like I'd been meaning to tell him anyway, but it was just like all right, now he's like upset that I didn't tell him earlier. It's a whole saga.
Okay, we're back recording the episode after Ami had to gossip a little bit about herself, but we can't reveal it until a future episode. While you were MIA this week, I have been kind of living my best week and nothing has really happened, but let me just catch you up. One is I went to the dentist yesterday and they didn't yell at me.
Amazing. We love that for you. I'm so proud of you.
As an adult, I feel like I've just gotten this feeling of like anxiety every time I need to go to the dentist because no matter what I do, they're always going to yell at me for my bleeding gums, I guess.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure they still bleed. I mean, did I tell you that I have been actively flossing like every day?
You didn't tell me, but I saw it. I saw it live.
Oh, you did?
And I was impressed.
Okay, well, it's because I got like so shamed the last time that I went. And also, Nico is like an avid flosser that he will like every time that we're together at night, he's like, did you floss? Like, he's like on top of me. And I'm like,
so good.
Chill, floss police. But yes, I finally feel like a little bit relieved that like I'm not in like floss jail with my dentist. But that was the highlight of my week.
I love that. I am in floss fail right now. Like there was one time that they scared the shit out of me and then I got so good at flossing. And then, you know what? It only takes a few days of not flossing for you to realize the freedom that is not doing it. So I'm back to never doing it. I think actually I judge dentists now about like based on if they yell at me about my gums. And I was going to a really like weird ass dentist in Dallas the last couple of times because they were the only ones with appointments. And that's why, because they suck. But actually, when you come visit me, I have a real dentist appointment that I made like 4 months ago. So we'll see how that one goes.
We'll see. So yesterday, I guess she's not a dentist, but like she's the hygienist that like cleans your teeth or something. I felt like she was like barely touching my teeth. I was just like, are you cleaning? Are you good there? Let's get into it. Let's pick at the tooth. But then I was just at the end, and maybe like I'm just in my Delulu era, but I'm like, oh, it's because
your
my
teeth are perfect.
They're so good that like she doesn't even need to clean them.
Yeah, that's totally it. Is this a new dentist or is it your scam dentist?
Okay, I left my scam dentist after just one time. I actually retract that statement because I don't think he scammed me. I just didn't know how insurance worked and how shitty my insurance was.
All right. Well, that's the US scamming you then.
My second highlight of the week is I have just been eating up all this Blake Lively gossip train. And I was like worried that you weren't on this gossip train with me.
No, don't worry. I was. This was the only gossip train I was on this week. And thank God.
Well, have you liked Blake Lively?
Yes and no. Like, of course I like her because of Gossip Girl. And I do think she, like, comes out as a very fun, bubbly person. But it ends with us drama actually has not shocked me that as much as I thought it would have. She does seem shady AF like that.
Why do you think so?
We're gonna get canceled, but like being best friends with Taylor, you gotta know that something is a little bit snarky about you.
Yes, I felt that same way. We can be Swifties and say this. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a subgroup of Swifties. I don't even know if we're Swifties, but there's a subgroup of Swifties who also thinks she's kind of a mean girl, I
Mm-hmm.
think. And like I'm part of that subgroup, but
Me too.
and I remember this so vividly in like pop culture history, but the 1989 tour where she
Mm-hmm.
would aggressively bring out all her girlfriends for every single tour,
Yeah,
and Blake was part of that posse, and,
that's when
like,
it started.
that's when it started, and it just, like,
Mm-hmm.
gave me the ick.
Yeah, and like the way they've just advertised their friendship so heavily, seeing Blake at the Eras Tour is such a thing that I'm just like, to stay friends with Taylor for this long, you, I think, have to be very similar to her. And this checks out.
Exactly. So this is very topical for our episode today. A lot of people are also not surprised, and it's because of all these blind items that came out
Mm.
about her as Serena Vanderwoodson filming for Gossip Girl, how she's kind of a menace and kind of mean. And you would think that her and Leighton Meester would
Oh,
get
yeah.
along, would like post together once in a blue moon, but they act like they don't
No.
even know each other. And that's sus.
Yeah, Leighton Meester like actively does not fuck with her. They were cordial. I've actually seen so many blinds about this and like seen so much stuff about it. Leighton just doesn't get along with Blake Lively. And you know what? That's a testament to Leighton's acting. But yeah, I agree. And there's actually like Army Hammer, which I mean, he's a cannibal. I don't know. I guess what his
You said that so casually.
yeah,
He's a cannibal.
he's a cannibal, so I don't know if we can take his opinion to heart. But he did say that she was like really annoying to him on set. Like, can't remember exactly what he said, but he didn't like her either. And to be a cannibal and not like someone, that's your food. That's your dinner, and you're not even into it.
I also heard that Blake was on good terms with Harvey Weinstein, and like
Oh, nasty.
how can you be a female in that industry and like be on good terms with him? But I don't know if that was like back then before the news came out and she was just spared. But I hope to God that like they are no longer in good terms.
Dude, I wouldn't put it past them. Who's to say? Although, okay, so you texted me about this drama right when I was going to watch the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a bunch of stuff that was basically like she's just herself in every movie. She has literally no range.
I have thoughts about this.
This whole movie, she was Serena, which I think Serena is just her.
That's true that's like a valid point of criticism. I do think like part of this gossip train, hate train for Blake has gotten a little bit out of hand because does Will Ferrell have range? And I know you don't like Will Ferrell because you get him
hate Will Ferrell.
confused with Jim Carrey. So it's not valid whatsoever. But like, does he have range? Does Steve Martin have range? Like, since
That's fair.
is she an Oscar winning actress? No. Will she ever be? Probably not.
If she is, then that means they bribed the shit out of the like voting committee. You're right, and I feel bad now for saying that.
It's a point that everyone has been making. I'm just like, guys, it's fine. We can just admit it. We're enjoying this hate train. We're enjoying this
Yeah.
gossip train. It's therapeutic. It gives us serotonin.
And you know what? I think with this one in particular, no one really talks shit about Blake Lively. But now all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, did we all kind of not really love her? And that's kind of fun.
This has been giving me life because remember about a few weeks ago, I was just like, I'm so bored. There's like nothing exciting in pop culture right now that has been getting me going. And you told me that the last time that you felt a sense of like rush was when the Scandival incident happened. But for me, I realized it was more recently, and it was when the Joe and Sophie Turner situation happened.
Okay, that's fair. I feel like I think those are just like baby rushes compared to the Scandal thing for me. Like the Scandal thing for me broke my brain. Like the whole weekend my eyes were like in pain for how much I was looking at my phone. I think that maybe is its own beast, but I do agree that the Joe and Sophie thing was really wild.
The Joe and Sophie thing, I have to thank because that's how I discovered Kyle Marissa Roth.
Mm,
She somehow became this like super big TikTok blind gossip girl.
mhm.
I was like watching a lot of her old videos last night. I'm like, how do people get these blind items that they read? Because I was like, I want to read some of these blind items out loud. But I'm like, where is the text version? Because every time they put a screenshot, TikTok fucking cuts off zero point
Yeah,
0.5 of the
yeah.
margin because their UI sucks. Just let me verbally read because I have no memory.
No, okay. I think she might be getting it from NT Lawyer, which
Oh,
I think it's
yes.
called Crazy Days and Nights or something is his website. Or I'm conflating them and that's a totally different person. But I agree. Like, I wish there was an easier way to read blinds that's not going out of your way as much.
Okay, I don't know if the audience knows this, but I don't know how I remember. Like, one minute I was like watching a lot of her videos, and
Hmm.
the next minute, either it was like her mom or her sister
Yeah, I think it was her
had
sister.
announced that she had passed. No, but like I was reading this last night, and her
Hmm.
mom had announced on LinkedIn, out of
Oh,
all places.
the backstory behind that, which I do think is really sick, is that she had an account that had like over 1 million followers. Like that is her main source of income. She is churning these videos out and everyone's eating them up. But okay, I couldn't figure out if it was Janelle Evans or J Lo or a combo of them. But they basically got mad that she was like revealing so many blinds. I don't think it's Janelle Evans because I don't know who that is.
From what I heard down the gossip train, it was J-Lo.
Okay, J Lo. J Lo basically got her account banned, and she was also dealing with sickness that she needed money to pay for because we live in this scam ass country. Obviously, it's hard to say like what led to what, but I don't think any of these situations helped her health and then like her well being at all.
Yeah, it's like really spooky. I remember this happening and I forget like what month or what year it happened. It happened like somewhat recently, but I was like, I know who that is.
Yeah.
And then suddenly she passes and her sister and mom give like no indication of why. I almost feel like if it was an expected passing or
Yeah,
something normal,
they would have said.
they would said something, but they left it so open in the air. That's how gossip takes over the narrative.
Okay, so if you haven't figured out yet, our episode is about how gossip is back. Gossip is back and rebranded as blind items. And if you don't know what a blind item is, it's a news story, typically in a gossip column, in which details of the matter are reported while the identities of the people involved are not related. The invention of the blind item is credited to William D. Alton Mann. What in the F? Publisher of Town Topics, who often used it for blackmail, which I do feel blackmaily vibes from it.
Yes, something like very specific to like a blind item is the prose that it's written in.
Yeah.
It's like this borderline C list actor met up with this A list actor, and they've been sneaking around at, I don't know, Carbo.
XY. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. XYZ location. No, totally. And I think blinds are what has in a way brought gossip back because there are so many accounts now, so many really really popular accounts that are that are centered around blind items. Dumois, NT Lawyer, Fluently Forward, Kyle Marissa Roth, like the list is endless and I'm loving it.
I don't think blind items is the sole form of like gossip now. I feel like the way that society and social media has like branched off into all these different forms,
Mhm.
I feel like blind items just used to be a blog or something, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's just the rebrand of it. Like, for some reason,
Yeah.
doesn't blind items just feel like more fun than just
It
being like,
is
oh, this
fun.
is gossip about a celeb?
Gossip itself around a celeb, I think, has been kind of lurking in the background, and
Mhm.
blind items has been like the rebrand that they needed to like make it fun again. But
Yeah.
like the Gossip Girl filming blinds all came from like a TV discussion forum. Reddit is like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
filled with blinds in the form of like snark pages.
Mhm.
But I feel like Instagram DMs, when like Instagram launched DMs and that opened up a whole can of worms, that was just another way for you to submit your blind items that may or may not be factual.
Okay, I feel like these accounts have aggregated it in a very easily packageable way versus before you were kind of digging
Yeah.
for this information. Now it's everywhere. It's so front and center. I used to be a avid Dumois reader of stories and stuff, but now I don't know why it doesn't really come up as much anymore for me. So I'm less so.
It's because Dumois has gotten so commercial. Like, I'm looking at her
I agree.
stories and I'm like, where are the blind items?
Yeah.
80% of it is just like you promoting something or you responding to something. And maybe it's all in the podcast now.
Ugh, which is so annoying. I don't want to listen to the podcast. I mean, I'm saying that as we're recording a podcast right now. But I think also one of her downfalls was when she said the submarine people were still alive. I think after that, she was done. She just was like, shit, I'm really bad at this. And I'm going to like just get as much money as I can right now. And then we'll abandon the account.
One interesting thing about how gossip is back is because there's like these gossip influencers, like the gossip TikToker that we talked about. These people are gaining a following. The Bachelor franchise gossip leads
Mm,
too are kind of like celebrities in their own world. And I think that's very, very interesting because it kind of brings a level of truth to the gossip. And like
yeah.
you said, like people trusted Dumas, and when she was wrong, that was just really fucking bad for her. Gossip influencers had their own following. Like if that's not a signal that gossip is in, then I don't
Mhm.
know what is.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Dumas wrong a lot, but that one was just like, what in the fuck, dude? Why would you post this? But she was also right a lot, so that's why a lot of people still liked her. The submarine thing, I think, for me personally, was like a you're not even reading these
How do
things.
you know? Like who's
Who's sending that? And like, why would you report on that? Like, that has nothing to do with like your realm of things. You just ignore it. I have always loved gossip. You've always loved gossip. So this is a very fun era for me.
it is? It's like the shift. I don't know. Maybe it's just like we are in our own little isolated bubble, but the
Yeah.
shift from how people view gossip has been really refreshing because I don't know if you remember, like back in middle school, high school, even elementary school, people are like, don't be gossiping.
Mhm.
Don't be
Mhm.
gossiping because it's mean. I don't think what we're doing is mean whatsoever. Also, we do gossip about real life stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't ever think it's like maliciously intended.
No, it's mostly just like intrigue and boredom
Intrigue
combined.
and boredom because we're never like acting on it. Like we're not doing what the scene in Mean Girls did and spreading
Oh yeah.
rumors or exposing your secrets. And I think that's where it feels good to gossip.
And it is kind of like it's a form of social currency. It's a way to get like in kind of like it does bring you closer together with whoever you're talking to about this. It's a fun way to reconnect. Like this week we had a fun piece of gossip that we texted in one of our group chats.
Oh, yes. That kind of gave me life.
Yes. And it was like, oh, someone got a boyfriend. It's so harmless. It's nothing. It's a nothing sandwich almost, but it was so fun.
For the audience, though, this person got a boyfriend, and we were very surprised that they got a boyfriend. It wasn't like about the who part, it was about boyfriend. Like it was a boyfriend, and we were like, what?
Yeah, because we thought they had something going on with our other friend. Okay, I think like one of my favorite celeb blind item universes is the who is Mindy Kaling's kid's father? Who's her baby daddy?
I have not followed any of that, but I think it's so fucking weird that she's hiding it.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I do think it's weird. Like, it has built up so much intrigue around it, and her
Exactly.
hiding it has made it like a
Worse.
topic. Yeah. And it's such a big thing. Like, the person who finally gets a confirmation is gonna like make so much money off of this. But everyone swears up and down it's BJ Novak. They also lean into it so hard because BJ Novak is like the godfather or whatever to the kids. I don't know if it's to all the kids or what, but she often says that they hang out all the time and that BJ is like really close to the family. And she's just feeding into everything. She's
Close to the
playing it up.
family. Because
Yeah,
he is the
literally, because
family.
he's family. Yeah, like, and you can kind of tell that her kids, I mean, we've never seen her kids' faces, which I
It's a
think is a good,
celebrity thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I suspect the kids are half white, and I wholeheartedly believe that BJ is the dad.
Do you think we'll ever know?
I
Or will she
don't
take it to
know.
her grave?
I have to know. Like, I can't die in peace without knowing.
Oh my gosh. You know what would be so amazing for her? And I'm sure someone has already pitched it, but you know how she's like a writer for a lot of like sitcoms, etc.
Yeah.
She should definitely revive How I Met Your Father.
They
And it should be
already
like
did.
no, but like revive it for her specifically and like she stars in it and it's like for her kids.
Okay, that would be good PR and marketing for her, but I think she would not do that for her kids' sake.
I'm sad.
I know, like making content out of who her kids' dads are, but like dad is like I don't know if they even have the same dad actually, but like I assume they do. And it's like, tell us. We need to know if you're a celeb. You kind of owe it to us. Do you owe it to us? That's actually a question that we should talk about. I feel like you kind of have some obligation, not all obligation. Like, I don't need to see your kid's face, but when there's so much intrigue around who the dad is, I need to know.
I don't think they owe it to us. And I say that because Ami has given us nothing in terms of her personal life for the past 2 seasons. Things are about to change, but like, did you owe it to our listeners? Yes.
No, because I'm
See,
not a celeb.
you're a celeb in the Clown Vibes universe.
Okay, true. All right. Fine.
I want to talk about gossiping at work because I had this like
Mhm.
really, I don't know if it's eye opening, I would say frustrating conversation with my father. And he was just like, you can never trust anyone at work. Do not show like your true emotions at work. If you're frustrated, like, even though you're a good person, you never know if anyone else has malicious
Yeah.
intentions. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's so hard because I love to gossip with my work friends.
I feel like that's somewhat valid advice. Like, you never fully know if you can trust someone. And I am doing it anyways. Like, honestly, you have to, like, I think both of us just need to in a way. And the way that I think realize if I can like really trust someone or not is if they're giving me their own gossip and their own takes. Like, obviously we're not doing it willy-nilly. Like, we're not just in a meeting saying like that dumb hoe. We're doing it on the side.
On a more serious topic, I do feel like gossip in the workplace can protect you
Yes.
in
No,
certain
totally.
ways,
Mhm.
especially working in a perhaps unstable work environment.
Mhm.
Hearing gossip on the gossip train prepares you for certain instances. Like,
Yeah.
if you think there's a layoff, if you think there's a shakeup at your company,
Mhm.
if you think someone is stepping down soon, you got to be like mentally
Yeah.
prepared because, like, what if it impacts you? Also, gossiping as a form of social currency. I want to go back to that because it shows that you can be trusted, right? Like,
Yeah.
don't you know certain people that cannot be trusted?
Yes, I definitely know some people that cannot be trusted, and now unfortunately you find these things out. But I putting some trust in them and then them fucking it up.
How someone deals with gossip is a way for me to know,
Mm-hmm.
are you with me or not?
Yeah.
Because if you can't gossip, you're not with me.
No, totally. In the workplace, especially, if you're taking things too seriously, you're absolutely not with me. Like, this is a job, my guy. Like, please. But I agree. Like, it's a very good gauge for us to understand, like, who are we going to vibe with?
I do want to say there is this one instance that happened very recently. Also gave me a lot of fire. Like I was really into it, but I think I overdid it. And like
Yeah.
I am the first to admit when
Yeah.
I overdo gossip. It happens.
Yeah.
It is a fine line to walk. Like I'm sure Blake is crying every day
Yeah.
because of all the hate that she's getting. And that is really unfortunate for her.
Mm-hmm.
But I recently discovered that someone that I adjacently know that I follow on social media has basically been mentally unwell for a very long time and was having a very public spiral. And
Yeah.
I found it odd because this public spiral has been happening for like 3 weeks when I started to pick it up. Like I started to notice like weird posts that this person was doing. But you know how like when someone is going through a breakup, they post cryptic messages
Yeah.
and it's over in like a few days.
Yeah.
So I really thought that like this is what it was like. But this person was posting montages. She was all over the Taylor Swift lyrics. And you know, when someone's posting Taylor Swift, they're unwell.
They're down bad.
They're down bad. And I was just like, oh my gosh, is she okay? But like, I'm not close enough to
Yeah.
really reach out to her. So I like started watching it and I'm like, this is really weird because she started posting screenshots of conversations and photos of who this is about. And it was someone that she worked with, like a
Yeah.
VP at her company. This is like real life drama that it's kind of addicting because you know the person, but you don't.
Yeah, and it's like so salacious. Is that the right word?
For who? For me or for her?
For us, it's just so whoa.
I definitely felt intrusive watching it, but this is the thing with gossip sometimes that it's like a train wreck that you cannot look away
Yeah.
from. It is like eating chocolate. Someone needs to study this. And I'm sure someone has already, but I feel like you are getting a dose of serotonin when you're witnessing something firsthand.
For sure. And like specifically when you're investigating kind of and putting a lot of pieces together that maybe aren't written out for you, you feel like such satisfaction from it. Like it's like putting a
I was
puzzle
Nancy
together.
Drew.
Yeah, like you're finding out this and that and you're like figuring out who's involved and it just feels like a game.
It does feel like a game. What was crazy was that I did not know who else knew this girl.
Yeah.
So I had like literally no one else to tell them to. So I was just kind of like in my own investigative bubble. But you know what?
Mhm.
I knew I overdid it when I accidentally liked an older post.
Oh god.
I made a rookie mistake. And she was on it. Like she like blocked me like poof, you're done. And I was like, that's fair. That's fair. I needed to be done. I overstepped. I was too intrusive. I truly hope you are well because that spiral was very long.
Yeah, it was a little alarming.
And I hope it doesn't impact her future.
Yeah.
She had revealed a lot of stuff about her work that I'm just like, I feel like gossiping at work or about work is something that like you can never overstep because it has consequences for like the rest of your life.
Yeah, and putting it like on any form of social media is always really risky. And in a way, having such access to just blast anything to the world, especially when you're not feeling well, is very scary and not something that we should really have. And I don't think that we were meant to do it. And like I think what sucks is you're watching it and like I think you especially had this exact trajectory of feelings, but like it was so interesting. You had no one to talk to about it. So you were like telling me, like, look at these things and in a way kind of like shedding light on the situation inadvertently because like you needed someone to process it with, which I totally understand. And then that like guilt after. Like sometimes when after I saw you, I feel like I dumped so much stuff.
You did.
So much that was like not even about me that like I just needed to talk about. I really felt guilty after.
I actually was thinking that for you.
Yeah.
I don't know this person. And also, I think like whatever you told me is actually fine.
No, totally.
It would never hurt this person.
Exactly. And like you are my person I tell things to. So it's just kind of like I needed someone. I needed someone to bounce this information off of because also it was kind of a like, what do I do, if anything, situation. But yeah, I did feel guilty. And sometimes if I think about it too much, I fucked up. But we learn from these things. And, you know, I think if the intent is not malicious, then I'll give it a pass.
Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on all social media at Clown Vibes Podcast or email us at clownvibespodcast@gmail.com.
And if you like our show and want to support us, please like, subscribe, and give us a rating and review. That's it for today. Bye, clowns.
Bye, clowns.